Well, we take a look at the latest snowfall totals from round 1 of this storm and look ahead to the more significant round 2. Some very heavy snow will fall across southern Minnesota, followed by a brief shot of cold and another storm system on the way next week. So snowfall totals across the metro generally range from 3 to 5 inches. We had one outlier that seems actually a little suspicious, 6.8 inches, or 6.5 inches, excuse me, just outside of Chanhassen. But the Weather Service office there picked up 4.8 inches, and officially at the airport, 4.1. Further south, we had some heavier totals, about 6 inches in Rochester, some 7-inch amounts around Waseca, and 7.2 in Slayton. So the heavier band, slightly heavier band set up just south of most of the Twin Cities for round 1. And as expected, round 1 not as heavy as round 2. We were right in the lower to middle part of that forecast range. Picked up about 33/100ths of an inch of water at a 12-to-1 ratio. That's how we got 4.1 inches of snow. And it's really important, I mention this all the time, but it's always important that we really look at what is the specific ratio going to be and not use some of the modeled ratios because those tend to be a little too high sometimes. So the model's trending a little bit less with the precip, and now they're becoming more realistic with the ratios, and that's why my forecast yesterday was a little less than some of the others you saw, and that's kind of where the direction where most of these things are going. Big temperature contrast to squeeze out the moisture, about 100-degree temperature difference, sub-zero in northwestern Minnesota to almost 70 in St. Louis, Missouri, and that's what's helping to squeeze out the moisture of the atmosphere to the south. As that warmer, more moist air moves up and over our cold air, it's creating this swath of snow that's filling in as we speak. So we are not done yet. This is going to fill in from basically Wyoming all the way across southern Minnesota, central Wisconsin, with heavy snow developing 1 to 2 inch per hour snowfall rates as we head into the evening and overnight hours at times. So I paused this at about 4 or 5 p.m. when the snow starts up again. And then as we head into the evening, a little bit of a lull, but then midnight, 1, 2 a.m., some pretty heavy bursts of snow in the Twin Cities. This is some 1 to 2 inch per hour snowfall rates. And then early tomorrow looks like a mess. We're going to see 1 to 2 inch per hour snowfall rates again in that 4 to 7 a.m. time frame. So morning commute, not advisable to even do that. Models in general agreement now too on getting that an additional about 10 to 11 inches of snow, which is a little less than what it had looked like, especially if you're looking at the extreme models, but still a big snowfall for us. So this is round 2. Again, I think we get about 10, 11 inches in the Twin Cities. It's going to be a 9-inch to foot range with some pockets of heavier totals potentially in western Minnesota. And I'm going to show you one model that only goes through 2 a.m. tonight. It's not showing the full totals, but at this time frame, it really shows you 2 areas that I'm going to be watching. Southeastern Minnesota and also the west central part of the state. These are 2 areas that all the models are starting to hone in on that could see some heavier pockets. And we won't really know until the snow bands develop and set up here this evening if those are going to be the areas. So those areas are the ones that could see 20 inches in total or more. Heavy, high winds as we head through the day today too. Those have already been increasing. Wind gusts around 40 miles an hour, some 50-mile-an-hour gusts to the west. Those winds also look a little less than what they had been looking like the last couple of days, but it's enough to create some up to 16-foot waves along Lake Superior on the south shore tonight and tomorrow as those winds blow from the northeast. Just the perfect fetch, we call that, moving across the widest part of the lake there from basically Isle Royal into Duluth and Superior. Next system comes in already Sunday night into Monday. Rain turning into some snow. So it looks as though we could see some accumulation, but the more significant thing is that this will be liquid because the temperatures are going to be rapidly warmer. We do cool off over the next couple of days. Briefly colder Friday morning, sub-zero pretty much statewide. A chilly high of only 11. Keep in mind the normal high now is about freezing, so that is below. But by Sunday we're above freezing, and by Monday, look at that, near 40 degrees. That's why we'll see mainly rain turn to some slushy snow, and then a little cooler but close to normal here Tuesday.